Bam, 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 bam. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's about that time. I'm just coming on here, man. I'm just coming on here just to do a quick chilling streams. We're just chilling. A chill stream. We're just gonna do a chill stream. Um, let's see. Am I sharing my screen already? I think that I am. Check mic. Check mic. Check, check. All right. Okay. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. La 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 la. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, let's get into this topic. I kind of want to talk about um where do money come from? I mean, it's kind of a simple yet complicated answer that no one really where is the money at now? Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that I kind of want to get into on this stream. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that I kind of want to get into on this stream. Okay. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that I kind of want to get into on this stream. Okay. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff. All right, guys. So this is the stuff that I want to get into on this stream. So we're gonna just get into AI. We're not really reviewing any financial statements today. I just want to look at it and say, where is the current wealth right now? You know, how much wealth is out there, and what is this definition of wealth, money, cash, assets, all these words that has been created, and a lot of people, working every day to get money, right? To get money, they're working every day. People are working every day to survive. People are working every day that make $100 a day, $200 a day, $5 a day. Some people make $5 a day around the world. Um, $1 a day. So I'm trying to understand how is this calculated? Where is the money sitting at now? Because let's all be honest, right? Everybody out here is sort of struggling, quote unquote, for money, right? Everybody wants money, so you got to know where it's at. You know what I mean? You got to know where it's at. Like if I ask you, hey, where can I get some beer? You know where it's at. It's at the bar. So, or it's at the grocery store. You would know a couple of places where the beer is sitting. So if I were to ask you, where is the money at? That's a tougher question for you to answer. And why is that? Shouldn't you be able to know? Shouldn't we all know? Why is this hidden? Why is this harder? So let's kind of do some basic stuff here, right? Let's do basic stuff here, like how much money exists out there. Okay, how much money exists out there? How much money exists out there? Basic questions like this, and it'll get us rolling. Okay. Da-da-da. Monetary base. This includes physical currency in circulation and commercial bank reserves held at central banks. The total amount of US dollars in circulation was $2.3 trillion. And yet, you're struggling to get a couple of dollars. You know what I mean? I just want to get a couple of dollars. Right? I just want to get a couple of dollars, and there's 2.3 trillion people. Who has this money? Where is it? Can I get some of it? Can I get some? I'm just trying to get a couple of dollars. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. Just get a couple of dollars. Can you give me a couple of dollars, man? I'm just trying to go to Jamaica. I'm just trying to go to Bahamas, man. I'm just trying to get me a house, a car. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated, right? We're just trying to get a couple of dollars here. And a lot of people have a lot of money. So in 2021, the Bank of blah 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 estimates the value of physical notes and coins circulated to be 8.2 trillion. What? Uh, Wait a minute. So, and then the Bank of International Settlements estimate the value of physical notes, the value of physical notes and coins in circulation across 20 major countries, plus the euro to be 8.2. So then look, there's even different classes of money. You got M1, you got M2, you got M3. What does all this mean? This includes MO plus demand deposits, checking accounts, and other highly liquid deposits. The M1 money supply for US dollars was about 19.7 trillion. Globally, the M1 money supply was estimated to be around 48 trillion. This is where, you start questioning yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? I got nothing but $50 in my account. What am I doing wrong, right? You gotta be asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? I got $50 in my account right now. Why is that? Right? Why is it that I only got $50 on me? Okay. Um, why is it that I only got $50 on me? All right. So, I mean, these numbers, right? Once you start really looking at it, once you really start looking at these numbers, you're like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're talking about $50 trillion. We're talking about $20 trillion. I mean, these numbers, it just, you're just like, where, how, who, how? It's like that meme. It's like, like, how, wait, what? Because the average person don't, what I'm saying, the average person don't have it. Let's see. We got crypto. We got global net private wealth. Private wealth to be 450 trillion. These numbers, global stock market, 110 trillion. Global real estate, 370 trillion. So let's see. So what's the total? I know these are kind of basic questions. The total amount of money is not singular. Universal agreed upon figure. See, they don't even agree. This broad measure includes physical currency, checking account, savings account, various deposits, investments. 130 to 190. No, I need more. There's more. You're telling me total global assets, liquid and illiquid, $900 trillion. I don't even know what's next after trillion. What's next? What's next after trillion? I don't even know. Quadrillion? Hey, yo, son, quadrillion? What is quadrillion, man? We got quadrillion, we got trillion. We don't even know what a trillion is. What is a trillion? A very large number of amounts. Oh my lord. Wait a minute. Let's go in AI mode. What is a trillion, man? Let's see what a trillion is. A trillion is a large number that can be defined in two ways. 1 trillion equals to 1,000 billion. It's 1,000 billion. So it's not even 100. No, it's 1,000 billion. 1,000. Like, you're looking at it, you're like, what are you talking about? That's just 1 trillion. And we're talking about 800 trillion in the world, 900 trillion global wealth. This is what we're really talking about. Global wealth, real estate, financial assets, natural resources. I mean, the total figure don't respect this inequality in wealth distribution. The average wealth per adult was 84,000, while the median was 8,000. So the median half. So let's look at this. Let's look at this, right? We got 8 billion people in the world. 50% of the world population. Now, I know we can all say, United States, Europe, um, they're going to have, hold on one second. Right? We're going to all say, okay, we got US, we got Europe, we got US, we got Europe, and the income level is different here. Why? But all these questions, the economists were supposed to answer all these questions. There's no answer to this, guys. There's really no answer to this. A lot of this, it's a lot of this is made up. It really is made up. So these guys that are. I want to talk to you guys about some of these people. Okay, I want to talk to you about, let's see, AI Google. Okay, I just want to go AI mode. Let's see, Ray Dalio. Let's look at Ray Dalio. Okay, so this is he's a hedge fund manager, and he's a founding. He founded Bridgewater Associates, right? The world's largest hedge fund. So, hedge fund is basically these people that reach out to rich people and they say, hey, give me your money. Let me work the money. Let me use the money. I'm going to make you more money. Okay. That's what a hedge fund is. Now, let's see his net worth. His net worth is $15 billion. Okay. How much asset, how much money? I'm going to use layman term. How much money does he manage? Okay. How much money does he manage? Let's see. So they have this one company, Bridgewater Associates, have $92 billion in assets under management. So the guy's worth $15 billion. He's managing $92 billion. And you're just like, where's this money? Where's this going? Where is this sitting at? How is this possible? How is it that all this money exists, but I only got a couple of dollars? I only got $50. How the hell this guy got $19 billion and he's managing $92 billion? And let's see where did he get all this money from? Remember, the original question is money. Where does money come from? But we're kind of diverting right now. Where did he get all this money from? So institutional client base. Okay. Bridgewater serves as a client base almost entirely of institutional investors, including foreign governments and central banks, pension funds, university endowments, and charitable foundations. So I want people to understand that, like, university endowment, for example. Do you guys know about university endowment? I mean, I'm just gonna kind of bop around, but university endowment. What is it? What is it? Okay. What is it? A university endowment is essentially a pool of donated funds and other assets that are invested to provide long term stable financial support for the institution's mission. So it's donated funds that the university has. So if the fund is donated, you have all this money. Why do I pay for college? What do they do with this money? Okay, let's see. How much does, let's say, University of Texas has? Just not Harvard, none of this, just kind of a big school in Texas, right? The University of Texas system holds one of the largest university endowments in the United States. As of 2024, the UT system endowment was 47.5 billion. Do you guys know that University of Texas has 47.5 billion? This makes the largest endowment of any public university system in the United States. The endowment supports the 9 universities and 5 health institutions that makes up the UT system. Okay. It's the second behind Harvard. Wow, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. The endowment fund comes from charitable donations and are invested to generate income, which in turn supports various aspects of the university mission, including student financial aid, research, and other programs. Look at that. Look at that. What is that? What does that mean? I still got to pay. I still got to take a loan to go to UT. So what is this money going to? What are you talking about financial aid? What are you talking about financial aid? Okay. What percentage of UT students take out student loans? Let's see. So 40% of undergrad students at UT Austin borrowed student loans. 40%. Okay. Which is lower than the average of 58. It's worth noting that the percentage of students graduating with debt at UT has declined. So we're talking about 50% of the kids, they take out student loans. Others might. So who's actually getting this money? So this money is just sitting here, and to kind of tie it back to Ray Dalio, right? Where's that Ray Dalio? Okay. So when they say right here, I ask, where did he get all this money from? Ray Dalio, remember, guys, he manages $92 billion in assets. Okay. And he's worth 14 billion, 14 and a half, 15.5 billion. Okay, so he's managing $92 billion in assets. He's worth 15.5 billion dollars. Okay. You got UT over here. They have $47 billion just hanging around. So instead of you letting you go to school, for free, right? They get this donation. So all these rich people, they give donations to the school. For what? They're not using it on the kids. They're not using it on the kids to go to school. Again, there's so much money out there just sitting around, right? This is University of Texas. This is a public school, a public university, and they have $47 billion hanging around. Okay, let's ask which firm UT uses to invest its endowment money. My spelling is so bad. Okay. Do they use Vanguard? Let's see. Let's see if it's Vanguard. Hmm. But I mean, this goes on and on, guys. So this is what I'm talking about when I say money. When I say money, don't think about celebrities. Don't think about these kind of things. The money is sitting in the stock market. The money is sitting in the real estate around you. Okay. Have you ever looked at what a high rise costs in your neck of the woods? We're just gonna go to like a random city. We're gonna do um, office office building for sale in Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia. Commercial property for sale. Okay. Let's see. I just want y'all to understand what things cost. I want people to really understand where wealth is. Okay. Just a random city, just a regular city, just a regular city. We're gonna do for sale. We're gonna remove the boundaries over here. I just want people to really understand, right? We're gonna do office building, for example. Okay. Uh, 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 um, let's go to downtown Atlanta and see what we got going on. Downtown Atlanta. Boom. All right. Let's see. Filter. Um. Price. Gonna do $1 just to get rid of those that don't have a price. I mean, I'm trying to find a high rise or something like this. Maybe it's not listed here. But look, okay, let's just look at this right here. Let's look at this. It's not even a build. This is a business. What is this? Is this the building or the business? What am I buying here? What am I buying here? What is this? One floors type, typical floor size, 2,000 square feet. I mean, they want 1.5, $1.2 million for this. I just want you to know somebody owns this. Okay. All right. So let's look at this, for example. This is a perfect example right here. We got a Shops at Howell Mill. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, I'm just picking a random building, right? It's 5,969 square feet. It's 100% leased. It's a 4-star retail building. They want $3.5 million for this. Okay? Somebody owns this. So you just imagine this little shopping. Let's go look at this on Google Maps just to kind of for you to see what something like that goes for $3.5 million. Okay. We're going to do a screen. We're going to do a street view on this. Now, guys, I want y'all to look at this. This little building right here is $3.5 million. Okay. This building right here, where is it? It stops right here. Guys, I want y'all to look at this. This building, just this building right here, is $3.5 million. So you might be like, man, you know what? I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy, and I want to own a little something, a little shopping center. How can I get in? How can I get in some of this stuff? How are you gonna get in? How are you gonna get in? Commercial property, for example, requires 10% down, 20% down. So if you're trying to buy this at 3.5 million, you're gonna need $350,000 cash just to get in. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, let's look at this. Um, let's look at this. Let's look at this attachment here. So we're looking at $3.5 million. A building size 5,969 square feet. Land size as a half an acre. As a half an acre, it's 6,000 square feet. Nothing amazing, nothing crazy. You drive by these kind of buildings all the time. You never even noticed. You never even notice what things cost around you. Okay, but there's companies, there's rich people out here that own 100, 1,000 of buildings like this. I mean, I'm just picking a random shopping strip. I don't even know if this is a good part of Atlanta, but just to kind of make a point, this cost $3.5 million. How are you gonna do this? How is the average person ever gonna build wealth in time to enjoy it? You understand? Where is all this money from? Because you got people like Ray Dalio. Um, you got people like Ray Dalio that makes a lot of money. Okay, and all these trillions exist in the marketplace. I mean, we're talking 20 trillion, 800 trillion. Total assets are estimated to be 800 trillion. And that is all this stuff adding up over and over and over again. Okay, so this is, I mean, look, you got 3 stores. You got tenants, feet, retreat, spa, massage, and teriyaki madness. Okay, let's see. You got 2 stores. You got a few parking spots. Parking available under building over here. Okay. I mean, you just one strip on all these strips around you. And look at this. It's telling you like, okay, there's a Chick-fil-A around you. There's apartments. There's all these apartments. I mean, we can get into all this stuff, but who owns these apartments, right? Who owns all this building around you, guys? This is actually a great example. Okay, I want you to look at this. Just in this screenshot right here alone, just in this screenshot alone, this is Howell Mill Road in Atlanta. I don't know if this is a good part, bad, but it looks like a decent part of town. Okay, we got this little strip of building alone cost $3.5 million. So you imagine how much this costs, how much this costs, how much this costs, how much this costs. These apartments. You got another apartment. You got how much money is in this picture right here? This is just like, what is this? Just right here, just one intersection. One intersection. How much there's $100 million in real estate just in this picture alone. These apartment complexes, we could look up to see who owns this. This is a beautiful thing about the internet. You can look up a lot of stuff. So I'm partially here to kind of show you how to Google things. Okay, how to Google things. But you can look up this stuff. Bell Collier Village. Who owns it? You can just do this. Okay, guys. Okay, there you go. So Bell Collier Village. Now, I'm kind of jumping around, but I'm here to make a point. So we just looked at this building right here. It cost $3.5 million to own this. Now we're looking at this apartment complex right here. It's 256 apartments. So we're trying to figure out who owns it. We're trying to figure out how much it is. Just so that you can understand where wealth is sitting, how the money flows. They get the money from the bank and they build these apartments and they own buildings. They get into 7-Eleven. Like, you have to kind of understand how money flows if you ever is going to get wealthy. You have to find a way to get wealthy. But there's a game to it, and you have to really understand how the money flows, because you're waking up every day, you're going to work, you're going to work. Somebody in my life last year, sometime last year, asked me kind of a question that stumped me, that have stumped me this whole time. Okay, I was talking to her as a family member. I was talking to her, and we got to talking, and and just casually we were talking about my life, whatever. She said, "Why do you work? Why do you work?" She just kind of hit me with that question, and we moved on. We started talking about some other stuff, but that question has stuck with me this whole time. Why do you work? Why do you work, guys? You need to really ask yourself, why do you work? It's a big question. It's a big question, and I kind of want to talk to you about this. And you really have to look at it and say, why do I work? What am I trying to get? Why do I work? Um, I've been having this thought. Okay, it's kind of a thought that I had. Um, there's sort of three classes in our society, in my opinion. Okay, this is kind of an idea that I have. I want you guys to let me know what y'all think about this. I think there's three classes. There's the homeless, there's the non-homeless, and then there's the wealthy. And I think majority of us are in that not homeless category, but we're not wealthy. You know, if you're not working on your wealth, if you're not working on your wealth, you know, it's gonna be a tough, 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 tough life. If you're not waking up every day thinking about wealth, thinking about it and researching it and kind of looking at what I'm talking about here, it's gonna be a tough life. You know, so many people are close to being quote unquote homeless than being wealthy. Because most people are just not working on their wealth, and I think because they don't. Nobody has ever put it this way. When you really look at it, you either are trying to get to the wealth, or you're just sort of surviving, aka not homeless. When I say not homeless, I'm not trying to be rude to the homeless people, but it's just basically roof over your head, transportation, some money for groceries. Once in a while you might get on an airplane and go to a building somewhere, at a beach somewhere in Florida or Cancun. You're just really taking a break from working. I wouldn't really call that a vacation, because you got to go right back to work like the next week. That makes you feel like you're living this life. This weekend you might go out, and get a couple of drinks and hang out at a bar or something like that. You're just taking a break from work. I mean, the majority of your life consists of work, right? If you're not, I mean, you can call this the working class, whatever word you want to use. And I don't really care how much money you make, really. Um, if you're kind of just spending it and not building wealth with your income, or finding ways to own a apartment building or a shopping strip or something, you're not working on it. And I'm saying working on it, not thinking about it, not, oh, crypto, let me get in here and try to grab a few bucks here. And oh man, you gotta work on something. You gotta work on something. Otherwise, yeah, you're just gonna we're just gonna work, and not to be homeless. You're just gonna work. You just gotta take a vacation, once or twice a year for 2 weeks. You're just gonna get old, and then game over. Um, so and why work on wealth? Why work on wealth? Right? That's another question. But why do you work? Why do you work? You need to really answer that question for yourself, because if it's not leading to something, if it's just to maintain you, if it's just to keep you going, or for you to have a few bucks in your pocket so you can buy some stuff, I don't know. I mean, is that really is that okay? I mean, I guess for some people that's okay, as long as I got a nice spot and a nice car and I got some J's and some purses and I don't know. I mean, I guess you go to Europe, you go to Asia, you go to the beach. I guess for some people that's okay. If you're not curious about wealth, and then I guess you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. But if you're here, you're probably somewhat curious about all this money stuff that goes on in the world. Some people they're just like, hey, I enjoy my work. Maybe I don't even enjoy my work, but I make money. I make decent money. I'm gonna live on it, and I'm gonna peace out when it's time to peace out. You don't have to play the wealth game at that point. Um, but I want you to arrive at that decision on your own that you chose that, not you stumbled upon that. Because let's be honest, if you come from a working class family, if you're coming from a regular family, at 18 years old, you're pretty much told, hey, you either go to college or you gotta go get a job. And nobody ever tells you why you should get a job, right? Oh, because you could afford an apartment. I mean, I guess okay, you can afford an apartment and a car, but they're just kind of making you like a bill paying citizen. Okay. Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't think people ever get into it understanding how the world works in terms of the flow of money and work. It's all tied together, like money, work, your time on earth. It's a serious topic, but there's also, of course, other things that we enjoy, relationships, friends, hobbies, things that we like to do, all kinds of stuff. So I'm just trying to loop it all together. But okay, let's go back. Let's go back and see who owns this apartment complex. Now we already looked at this. This is 3.5 $3.5 million. So if I'm just trying to get you to understand, like, for you to be wealthy, you're gonna have to start playing these kind of games of owning these assets, owning businesses, that kind of thing. Because you gotta see what games are these guys playing, right? The Ray Dalios of the world. What game? Okay, Bell Collier Village, right? Bell Collier Village is owned by Bell Partners Inc. It's a private held apartment investment company based in North Carolina. So this is another thing I want you to look at. These guys are professional owners of assets. Okay, they go around owning assets. Like I said, if you're thinking about being wealthy, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm I'm gonna be a big shot. I'm gonna be a millionaire. Are you thinking about wealth? Are you thinking about owning assets, income producing assets? Because that's what this is. That's what this looks like, right? Um, Again, guys, these are 256 unit apartment complex, and somebody owns it. Somebody has to own it. Like, this is not. Okay, so let's say tell me more about this company. Tell me more about this company. All right. Established in 1976. Manages 90,000 apartments. Do you see what I'm saying? This is like when they say wealth is concentrated on the hands of a few. This is what I'm saying. They own 90,000 apartment homes in 12 regions. So if you've never heard of this company before, ever, okay, we all know about like Amazon and Google and Tesla, and we all know these big companies, big corporations, Walmart and Toyota, Chevy. All that's a big company. Oil and gas companies and tech companies, health companies, United, all these companies. Look, this company owns 90,000 apartment homes. They own 90,000 of them. Look at that. So they own in 12 regions and all across the U.S. Never heard of this company. I mean, I don't know. I've never heard of it. Bell Partners Inc. I don't know. They have 2,100. Look at all this stuff. Look at that. Look at that, guys. They've bought $11 billion worth of apartments in the last 30, 20, 30 years. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. Look at that. They own $11 billion worth of real estate. What do you own? You own your phone, maybe. That's not even an income producing asset. I mean, it's an asset, I guess, in a way. But what do you own? So again, when we talk about wealth, when we talk about where is the money at, this is where the money is at. This is where the money is at. Okay, guys, it's tied up in real estate. It's tied up in stocks. Um, it's these endowments, university endowments, your pension. Let's not forget about all this 401ks. All these public employees, they have pensions, right? That pension is given to Vanguard to manage, and Vanguard goes out and buys stocks with it, buys bonds with it. Those are those assets that we're talking about here. So, and a lot of companies have cash. There's a lot of cash sitting around too. It's not with you. It's not with it's not with us, right? That cash is not with us, right? You gotta go get some cash. You gotta go get some money. What are you gonna do about owning this asset? So, as much as I hate the whole real estate people and they all are real estate, they're on to something, right? You have to own something that is income producing if you're gonna be wealthy. If you just, I mean, I guess when I say wealthy, I'm talking about having millions of dollars. You got to own something. You got to own something. You got to own a company. You got to own, you could work. You could be a doctor making $500,000. Eventually, you're gonna buy some stocks with that. If you don't spend it all, right? I mean, yeah, you could buy a house. I mean, that's sort of an asset, but we're talking about income producing assets, right? So, but yeah, guys, the money. Let's see, who has the wealth? Who has the wealth? In a nutshell, global wealth, right? Look, global wealth is concentrated in the hands of a small percentage population here in certain regions, while many individuals and regions have significantly less wealth. The top 1% of the world's population holds a disproportional share of global wealth, capturing 40%, like 40%. Guys, look at that. We're talking about 1% of the population owns 40% of all these buildings and stocks and all the important land. I mean, how you gonna get some? How's this gonna work? How is this gonna work, guys? How is this gonna work? How did this happen? That's another question: is how did this happen? Did we intend for this to happen? Is this what we want our society to be? Did you sign up for this? You don't do you own any wealth? I mean, do you own any wealth? How come you don't own wealth and these 1% of people own 40% of the world's wealth? You can look at anybody from your city and they own so much business, so much real estate, and it's like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do, guys? Let's see. The wealthiest individuals on earth have since their wealth grows significantly faster than the average wealth. Um, let's see. United States holds the largest share of total household wealth at 30%. Let's go back. Let's go back to this real estate situation, okay? So, I mean, all these buildings, somebody owns them. All these businesses, somebody holds them. We could just look at who owns Howell's Kitchen and Bar, right? We could do that. Let's see. You could do this. Howell's Kitchen and Bar. Who owns Howell's Kitchen and Bar? Sometimes you might not get something, but okay. So this group also owns other restaurants in the area. Look at that, guys. What's that company called? Again, you're in the owning business or not? You're in the owning business or you're not in the owning business. McCoo Group. All right, let's see this. McCoo Group. Um, it's Atlanta-based restaurant group found in 2000 by Rob. They have popular spots in Midtown. Revenue $5 million. There you go, guys. So they could probably sell this for, 5 times revenue, so $25 million. And you got to get money somehow. You got to create a brand, attract money to you by providing a product or service or owning a real estate and renting it out and get money that way, using the bank loans. You got to play all these games. Yeah, but just having a decent income, a good income. Oh, I'm gonna be an accountant. I'm gonna make 100 grand. I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna be okay. You'll have money on hand, but we're talking about wealth here. Wealth is different than have money on hand. Do you want to be wealthy, right? Do you want to not have to work because you have money on hand? You own things that are income producing. These are the kind of questions that you should be asking: is what do I own? If you don't own something, it ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work because everything is expensive. The wealth is tied up in these buildings. Somebody owns this thing for $3.5 million. I'm sure these people that owns this, they probably own a bunch of other properties. We could look up to see who owns it, and we could look them up that way. But I'm just letting you know what things cost. Where is the wealth at? Look at this. It's just you've driven by this kind of building before. You never thought these things go for $1.6 million. I don't even know if this is a Stone Mountain, Georgia pre-kitchen hub investment opportunity. This 2-level commercial investment opportunity. It has a 2-bay auto garage with roll-up doors. 11 new prep kitchens were added to the ground floor, and grease traps have been installed. 9 ground floor units are occupied, and rent are increasing to $900 in the next couple of months. The current rent income is $10,000. So there you go. You gotta try to own some stuff like this. Look at this. I mean, if you drive by this place, would you have ever guessed that this was worth $1.5 million? Let me ask you again. If you drove by this place, I'm sure a lot of you have driven by places like you drive by this places like this all the time. We're gonna go look at the street view on this thing. I just want you to know how much things cost around you. Okay. This property right here. I mean, look at this. This little property right here costs $1.5 million, guys. Okay. I mean, you can't even see it from the street. It's covered by these trees and all this other stuff. Guys, this property right here costs $1.5 million. This property right here. That's what we're talking about here. This is where the wealth is at. This is where the money's at. This money's tied up in these real estate situations. The money is sitting in the stock market, right? It's not in the hands of you. That's why they're not gonna give it to you, right? You gotta find a way to get the money from these people by selling something. But the problem is all these rich people, all these rich institutions, they sit on the money or they invested in the stock market, which it really doesn't do anything. This is the issue with owning stocks, right? The money doesn't move. They're not spending it. It doesn't come down to you. So that's another issue out here, right? We looked at Apple the other day. Let's see. How much does Apple Corp has cash on hand? Cash and cash equivalency. Okay. Let's see how much cash as of the quarter ending in March, reported having 28 billion in cash. This is a reflective a decline. For context, at the end of the 2020 fiscal year, Apple had $29 billion. What about adding to it other cash-like assets? Because they have other things like the money market and all that sort of stuff. Adding marketable securities, which are liquid assets that can be quickly converted to cash. So we're talking about $48 billion. Apple has $48 billion. They're not doing anything with it. If they do, what they do is they buy other companies with it. They're not spending it on new furniture. They're not spending it on hiring, catering, or whatever. They're spending it to make more money. They're spending it on income producing opportunities, assets, etc. So you sort of have to copy the moves of these companies, right? Ray Dalio, like any of these people, they're looking to buy more income producing assets. They're not consuming this stuff. This is why it feels like there's no money on your hands, because it's really not. And the issue is like Apple, will fight you. Like if you work for Apple and you go and ask for a 10-20% raise tomorrow, they're gonna give you hell. They don't want to give you the money because they have other plans with it. You look at these companies, they buy companies all the time. Let's see. Has Apple made any acquisitions in the last year? Let's see if Apple has done any. Yes. Let's see. They're not saying how much. How much did they spend on these? Let's see how much they spend on these. They might not disclose it. So we're talking. I mean, look, they've spent $20 billion from 2006 to 2021 on buying companies. $20 billion, right? Apple has invested an estimated $20 billion in AI over the past 5 years. Again, guys, this is the kind of money that they're spending. So you sort of have to watch the people that have the money. Where are they spending it? If they are spending it, and you gotta go and be receiving that money from there as a company. You gotta win these contracts to get you some of these assets. Being an employee, it's not gonna get you there. I'm talking about if you're trying to build wealth. Again, I'm gonna repeat myself. If you enjoy being a nurse, being a doctor, being an accountant, and And just, hey, I got a solid job, I got my house, I got my damn bam, I'm saving for retirement. I'm gonna chill, and that's the way I want to play this game. That's fine. But you do have to understand how the game is played, for you to at least choose to see if you want to play this game. There is a game being played, guys. There is a game being played. At the end of the day, these corporations, they're interested in making more money. They're not really interested about your well-being. They're not really interested about you having a better life. It doesn't really matter to them. Okay, so um going back to the original question, going back to the title of this video, where is the money? um we'll do more on this. I want to do these Friday chill streams, right? I want to do these easy chill streams, but we're gonna cover into this kind of stuff. I'm gonna follow up next week, and I'm gonna try to get into more of economics and that kind of thing next time. um and actually, who makes the money, where, when they put it in the system, how do they make the decision to put it in the system, all that good stuff. But yeah, so you kind of have to realize what's around me, where's the money around me. Get your mind going that way, and you start getting into this kind of stuff. Okay, so maybe next time we'll get into owning companies and buying companies and that kind of thing. Otherwise, you can't get to wealth if you don't think about it. um Anyways, who do we have here? What do we have in the chat? We have anybody in the chat? Put one in the chat if you're viewing, if you're any viewers in the chat. What do we have here? Do we have HJ in the chat? We have HJ in the chat. What's going on? HJ in the chat, the one and only. Okay. Yeah. The main man is in the building. I'm just ranting and raving, man. Ranting and raving. Trying to see where the money's at. We're trying to see where this money's at. But I was just talking about how things cost. So I was looking at this right here, right? I think you can still see my screen. I was looking at this, and this is a random. The money where? The money where? So I was just the whole kind of where's the fucking money? Where the hell the money at? People get mad. Where is the money at? Right? Where is the money at? Well, the money's tied up in the stocks. The money's tied up with these with endowments. We're talking about Ray Dalio here. I mean, we were talking about when we started the stream about the money supply and how much money's out there. And look, Google's. I mean, obviously, it's not easy to find out how much money exists out there in the whole world. But total global assets is estimated at $809 trillion. Where is this money at? I mean, I only got $50. So what the hell happened? I'm just trying to get a couple of dollars. I'm just trying to get a couple of dollars in my pocket. So where is this money? Where is this money at? Your money's with the big corps, and they give you a fraction of what they made off of your money. That is so true. That is facts. And I was just trying to get at But I was okay. So I look at this and I say, hey, they're tied up in real estate. It says right here, real estate, natural resources, industrial assets. I mean, where the copper at? Where's the copper at? You got to own some copper. Where's the copper at? Things like that. Where's the copper at? Where's the oil at? Um, that's where the money's tied up, guys. These chemical plants, they're worth billions of dollars. You might live around these industrial assets, right? There's a chemical plant. There's a food manufacturer. The warehouse where where Amazon is at. How much you think those warehouses cost, right? I was bringing to the point, you know, and so I was like, okay, well, I went to Atlanta. I went to here. I was just looking around Atlanta for some commercial real estate, right? Um, and then I said, hold on one second. Okay. So we're looking at Apple has enough money to buy upcoming startups. Oh yeah, they spend $20 billion just this year. They said, where is it at? Um, I might have already erased it, but okay. So we're talking about Ray Dalio. We talking about how they own $92 billion in assets under management. Okay, Ray Dalio, he owns Bridgewater Associates, and 15. Look, he's worth $15 billion. Okay. Uh, 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 um. Okay, so let's look at this just small. Look, I want y'all to look at this. This is a small shopping strip in the middle of Atlanta somewhere. It's not that crazy. Okay, I want y'all to look at this shopping strip. This little shopping strip right here. Can y'all see this? I want to make sure y'all can see this. Can you see this? Is this I gotta make sure gotta make sure y'all can see this. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something. Give me say yes if you can see it well. Give me a thumbs up or something. Give me say yes. Tell me yes or something if you can see it. HJ in the house. Let me know if you can see it. Was it taking a while for the comments to come or what? HJ, let me know if you can see it. All right, cool. All right, so we're talking about the shopping strip. Just a random shopping strip that's for sale, okay? Now, this small little shopping strip that has 3 units or 2 units, I think, is on sale for $3.5 million. You gotta have $3.5 million to own this little shopping strip right here, guys. Just this little building right here. Just this little small shopping strip. Look at it. It's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 parking spots, and we were looking at it. Okay, we'll ask and see what can I how can the app. I mean, how can I own this, right? Let me see. Let me see this. Okay, we're gonna ask AI. Bam, it's it's for sale for 3.5 m's. What would it normally takes to own this? All right, let's see. Let's see. For commercial loans in Georgia, down payments typically range from 20 to 25%, but can vary from 10 to 30, depends on the loan type and lender. Look at that. So, bam, right there, you just hit a wall. Do you have $700,000 laying around? Do you have $700,000 laying around to buy this thing? You out. You're already out. Now I know there's creative financing. I know that um you can get somebody to let you borrow the money for a high interest rate, and yeah, go in the deal, and da da da, and it's not gonna be easy and all this other stuff. And a small unit like that, your offering determines who can come in that space. Do I need to make a kitchen? Yeah, no, I mean, so 700 grand. You got closing costs. You got closing costs, ongoing costs. That. Let's see if it actually summarizes the cost for you. But I mean, guys, we're talking about just to get in, just to get in, just to even have a shot. A small. Hold on, I want to go back to this, guys. I want to go back, guys. Remember, this is the spot. This is the spot right here. We're talking about this spot right here. Nothing too crazy, guys. You got you got some kind of weird. The tax on the property is crazy. Yeah, yeah. I mean, just a random building, guys. Just a random building. I guess it looked like they might have done a renovation recently. Okay, so they kind of dressed it up. They kind of dressed it up. So it was something else before. It looked like looks like they dressed it up. They worked on it. So they might be flipping it. Look, it wasn't even leased. Okay, so again, to do all these renovations, to maintenance, and all this other stuff, I mean, what does it take? What does it take? And like somebody owns this and they own other properties. So I was looking at this, right? And oh no, actually I had this downloaded. So right now you got two tenants. You got massage. No, actually, hold on. It says feet retreats and teriyaki madness. These are gonna be um your tenants, okay? And we were looking at it, and I was right here. I was right here. And so this is your building, and I was talking about all this stuff around you and who owns every single piece of property, every single piece of business in here. There's so many people in here that own this. There's levels to this. Who owns this franchise right here? Who owns this we already looked at House Kitchen, so that's a chain restaurant in Atlanta. They own many restaurants, etc. Right? Um, we already looked at who owns this apartment complex across the street from you. We looked at it, right? It was a company out of North Carolina. They own 9,000 units. They owned 9,000 units, right? We already looked at this. Um, okay, let's see who owns it and how much would it cost to buy it. Look at that. Purchase price of 71 million. That was 4 years ago. 4.5 years ago. One unit cost $227,000. You can't even buy a unit, but if you were to buy, that's a price of a house. Well, look at that. $71 million. So going back to this, just this and this apartment complex is 71 million. Now it's probably worth close to, I don't know, 100 million. So does it make sense now when I say wealth, when I say money, add even that 71 is financed? Yeah. And this is where, like, wealth, money, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. And there's people that are playing this game. They're going to the bank, they get the money, they own it, they eventually pay it off, and this kind of thing. So how is the average Joe gonna get wealthy? Now, we already talked about this. If you don't care about getting wealthy, you know that pre-unit is wild. House price is an Atlanta property. Isn't Atlanta property somewhat fairer than a lot of them? Yeah, so that's why I picked Atlanta. That's why I picked Atlanta, just kind of like an average city in America. So we can't even do this in Boston or Seattle or San Francisco. I mean, it kind of gets exhausting. And to add, they can make a loss, a profit. Yes, there's accounting trickeries you can do to write things off, to avoid taxes. But if you're a W-2 employee, I mean, you really don't have much. The only thing you can really do is just, save, invest. I mean, and hopefully you can get out of, like, if you care about being wealthy. Again, when we go back to this, right? Somebody asked me a few months ago, why do you work? And that question has stuck in my head this whole time. And I've been trying to answer it. And yeah, so what else you guys want me to cover? What else is there? What else would you like to see? We're just chilling. It's a chill stream. We're just ranting and raving about the economy. Another, yeah. Why do you work? Okay, somebody asked me that question. That had me all losing sleep. So that's kind of what inspired this stream and this line of thinking. Why do you work? Some people is like, hey, I work and I ask my money. Ask AI, how should a regular person make money? All right. How should I make a million? Okay. How should a regular person make a million? Should or can? Is it should or can? With the challenges we have nowadays, how can we make it and be open to unconventional method? Let's see. How should a regular person make a million? Let's see what they say. So if it's gonna say, oh my God, start early, create a financial plan, maximize savings, get out of debt. Oh man, this ain't gonna work. Retirement account, 401k, this ain't gonna work, man. Diversify ETF. Oh my Lord. Negotiate your salary, take a side hustle free. I mean, look at this. Side hustle freelance. They don't want you to breathe, right? They want you to do 40 hours and then come home and do some stuff online. Am I side hustling right now? Am I an NPC? What is that? Is that what you call me? An NPC? I'm doing exactly what AI is saying. Wait a minute. I'm side hustling right now. I'm trying to side hustle right now. Invest in yourself by learning new skill or getting additional training. Wait a minute. Is that what am I doing right now? Say faster than that. Unconventional methods that won't turn me out. I'm gonna say I need it faster, baby. Give me some faster way to a milli. I need a faster baby. Oh man, Google is, I don't know, man. Google's a little conservative. Google's a little conservative. Let's see. Richer than $1 million. Oh, burn me out. Okay. I need a faster. Okay. Reaching $1 million usually involves taking on high risk. La la la. Same me. Oh my God. Here we go. Crypto. Initial coin offering. What the hell is that? Crypto, penny stocks, venture capital, angel investing, leverage ETF, real estate wholesaling. Here we go. My financial vehicle is too slow. Yeah. 1 horsepower, motherfucker. You know, we don't want 1 horsepower. Wait a minute. What's going on, peoples? We got watchers. We got new watchers in the building. So we're just live streaming, chilling, talking about money. Okay. Talking about where the money's at. Because that's the big question, right? That's what everybody want to know. Where's the money at and how can I get me some? How can I get me some? You got to get me some. Because you know that paycheck ain't working. These corps did venture capital. Yep. Venture capital. That's another one. Let's see. We're talking about Peter Thiel. Big wins with his venture, with his seed funding. Tell me those wins. You guys know about Peter Thiel. I think I'm spelling Peter Thiel really bad, but okay, there you go. Let's see about Peter Thiel here. Okay, so he invested 50% in Facebook. He sold most of his shares for $1 billion. Well, that's all? Wait a minute. He just doubled. Investing in Planeteer, SpaceX, LinkedIn, Yelp, 2 billion, Stripe. You got to do something, guys. You got to do something besides working. The money's there. The money's out there. What is this? We got HJ. We got HJ asking, how can I make a milli with the REITs in 10 years? What's a good starting point money-wise? Yeah, man, 10 years ain't fast enough. Right? You got to do it. Let's see. Making a milli with REITs in 10 years. How can I? Let's see what Google's talking about. Determine your starting capital, develop a sound REIT strategy, blah, blah, blah. Example scenario, start investing, let's say 5,000, 50,000 initially. You do the math. How much do I need to put into it now? Put into it now. Let's see. Target date, 1 million in 10 years. Assumed annual return, consistent contribution, 10,000 per year. Based on these assumptions, you would need to invest $240,000 today And then you're gonna wait a minute. You still need to contribute 10,000 on top of that. Look at that. That ain't gonna work. That's just to get a million. A million 10 years from now is ain't gonna get you nothing. I mean, remember, guys, we looked at this. We looked at the shopping strip, this small little shopping strip. Wait a minute. Hide. Um, this shopping strip cost $3.5 million, and it's a 6,000 square feet shopping strip in Atlanta somewhere, right? You know, so you're looking at buying this little. You've driven by a shopping strip like this all your life, and you never thought the shopping strip like this would cost $3.5 million, guys. This little shopping strip right here cost $3.5 million. I mean, how are you gonna get wealthy, guys? You're gonna have to figure this out. This is the game that you need to play. You need to have a plan. You need to understand where the money is, where the money flows. We didn't even get into endowments. We got into it a little bit earlier. But I want y'all to look at this real quick. I want y'all to look at this. UT endowment balance. I want y'all to know that UT has $47 billion sitting around. UT has $47 billion just sitting around, invested in the stock market, not doing anything, not helping you pay off your student loans, not doing anything for you. They got the money. When I say they got the money, these people got the money, guys. These people has the money, okay? Remember, Tenement said these plazas, there's a hand on your money at all times. Don't let them in your cookie jar. Man, you're going to have to find a way to get some of this money. We already looked at it earlier that there is who has the wealth, right? We already looked at it. There's $800 trillion worth of wealth in the world, guys. There's $800 trillion worth of assets in the world. $809 trillion. So all these institutions, where is this money? It's just sitting, and this is the problem. This wealth is just sits. It doesn't flow down. This idea of trickle down, that we give tax cuts to the rich and they're gonna flow it down and they're gonna spend money. That's all a crap. We already saw it with COVID, right? All these rich people, they got the tax breaks, they got the PPP. They went and bought assets. They went and bought. So how do you get this money to get out from people's hands? How, guys? How are you gonna get the money out of these people's hands? How are you gonna get this money? Ray Dalio, we already talked about him. He's managing 97 billion. We got UT that has 47 billion invested in the stock market. And how are you gonna shake this money out of these people's hands and get it to the normal person? They just keep buying assets with it. They keep buying buildings with it. They keep creating new companies. Apple has money that we all know. They're gonna go buy companies with it. If you work for a corporation right now, right? What do they do with the money? What do they do with the money? Do they really give it to you? Do they give it to you in terms of a bonus or a raise or anything like this? No, they don't give you that. They don't give you raises. They don't give you that. They go and buy companies. If you work for any company, they're looking to acquire another company right now, right? Any company, they're looking to acquire, get bigger, get more money, get bigger, get more profits. So what's the answer here? How are you gonna get some of this money if you're an average Joe? Show comments on stage. What does that mean? Right? Find the wealth per nation and demographics and industries. Let's see. What does that mean? Wealth per nation. Wealth per nation. I mean, I think you watch The Wire. The way to win is not to exist. You get everything in my mama's name. You cannot exist. So you think if the money, you know, you gotta get some money, guys. You gotta put it on your mama name. We got HJ saying we gotta put the money in your mama name. Is your money in your mama name? I think U.S. wealth compared to the rest of the world. The U.S. holds a dominant share of world's wealth, 35% of global personal wealth. The U.S. has the highest number of millionaires globally, with 6 million in 2025. It accounts for 40% of the world's millionaires, despite being 4% of global population. Guys, what are we gonna do? AJ saying he barely exists. Yeah, he barely exists. He say he barely exists. He's trying to turn himself off. He might be AI. He might turn himself off. He might just unplug. He's say, I can't win this wealth game. I might just have to unplug myself from the from the cord. But as we're wrapping up, thanks for watching, people that's joining the stream. There's gonna be a weekly thing, Friday stream, chill stream, Rantin and Ravin. Rantin and Ravin, as they say. I'm ranting and Ravin, just gonna try to cover this money topic. I'm gonna try to get into it. If y'all are more interested in this topic, there's a guy named Gary Economics on YouTube. He covers this stuff a lot, and he covers about wealth inequality and that kind of thing. But yeah, if you're trying to be wealthy, if you're interested about being wealth or whatever, you have to know where it's at now and how it's moving, to really understand. So hopefully I wasn't all over the place too much. This is just a casual stream. We are gonna stream here in a few. Inshallah, we all make it. Absolutely, we all make it. We will be streaming later on this evening. We're gonna have Steve-O back on. We're gonna do a financial breakdown. We're gonna do a financial breakdown on a company you guys are all used once or twice. If you ever had to relocate in America, there's one company you've used. You had to move your grandma's shit out the way. Grandma was becoming a hoarder. She had that couch from 1973, and that's that's two-story in New Jersey, Patterson, New Jersey. She had that couch, and you gotta go get something to help you out to move that stuff, right? What is that company you used? We're gonna review that company's financial breakdown. We're gonna see how they making money, where they making money, how they making money. You've used them. It's a big company that everybody has used when they're moving. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna live stream here with Steve-O in about an hour. So thanks for joining this stream. Thanks for joining this stream, peoples. I don't know. Let's see who's in the chat. Let's see who's in the chat. Got to give a shout out to the people that are in the chat. Guys, like the stream. Drop a comment or two so we can show up in the algorithm and whatnot. How do I know who's in the chat? How can I see who's in the chat? Don't even know. We got HJ in the building. Who else is in the building? Who's the second person? Drop a comment. Second viewer. We got 2 viewers. This is like breaking world record stuff here, guys. We got bam. We got me. Anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We got HJ in the building. We got HJ in the building signing sheet. We got the signing sheet, man. I need y'all to sign in as you walk in. You know, we got HJ in the building. Let me see. Let me make sure. Oh, we got Bree in the building. We got Bree in the building. We're gonna talk about the moving company here in an hour or so. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching the live stream. This is your boy AB with the chill stream on Fridays. We got the sun setting. Hope you got some good information out of this. Appreciate y'all for coming in. See y'all in a few hours or an hour. But yeah, thanks. I'm out. Peace. Let's see. We're still live. Are we still live?